And sometimes when you're trying to make major changes in your life or your business, you end up trying to change too much at once, and it just causes all kinds of chaos. Hey there, welcome to my Epique Journey. I am Brandon DeVere, and thank you as always for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I do appreciate that. Here we are on the journey from 600 to 0 back to 600 plus. Great weekend. We got my son back on the football field. He had a great game. We ended up winning 38-6. He had a couple touchdowns, a couple catches, and one of the most exciting parts was, he told me, he's like, I redeemed myself. I redeemed myself. He was so excited about that, and I asked him, I was like, what do you mean you redeemed yourself? And he goes, well, last week I didn't play and I kind of let the team down. Today I was here and had a pretty good game and we won. So that was pretty exciting, pretty cool to see. I get excited watching these kids grow and get, learn these lessons and really experience it. So that was pretty exciting for me. One of the things also today, what I kind of wanted to talk about, couple things that you've probably heard of 75 hard and things like that. These workouts and these massive changes that we try to make in life. And my son asked, I got home from the office today and he just said, hey, he's like, hey, can we go outside and play catch on the trampoline? That's what we usually do. Sometimes every night, every other night. But I said, hold on, I got to go record a podcast. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, what's it going to be about? And so I was explaining what I wanted to talk about today. And he's like, oh, okay. So is that like when like a YouTuber says that they want to do like 5 shorts a day and then do like 2 videos a day and all that stuff? And I said, yeah, that's cool. Like he understood what I wanted to talk about today. And the reason I brought this up is because with the team, I told you that I've now taken on a role within a team here at Epique here in Las Vegas, which again wasn't something that I normally do, but I just saw the massive value that Crystal Martinez of the Martinez Group was offering, and it's hard, it's really hard to not pay attention to that. So really excited about that. But we were talking about as agents come on and newer agents, usually newer agents, but most agents want to do this where they take on everything at once, and they want to be like, hey, I want to do everything, and they feel that's a value, right? They don't necessarily want to specialize in anything because they don't want to turn anything down because they feel like it's more of like a, the scarcity mindset instead of an abundance mindset. So it's like, oh, I don't want to not work with those type of buyers or those sellers, or I don't want to not do this because they feel like they're going to be missing out on something like that. It's, sometimes it's addition by subtraction, right? Like if you were going to be a buyer specialist and you were, I'm not going to say turn down a listing, but you said, I'm going to refer that listing out and I'm going to focus on like buyers is what I focus on. While you take that off your plate, you have the ability to focus on more buyers. And so we kind of talked about that kind of stuff. And because it's very hard mindset to get into. I mean, I talk about it all the time here in Vegas with our agents about promoting themselves or trying to work. That a lot of agents here feel, and it's not just here, I'm just going to use here because that's where I live, but it's not just in Vegas, but they feel that it's important and it's a value add to a client that they'll work like this over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, and it's really not a value add to the buyers and sellers in those areas, because now you're not becoming an expert in just that one area. You're knowing kind of a little bit about all these different areas, and it doesn't necessarily translate to the best possible outcome for the client. And so in talking about that stuff, I talked about 75 hard. And if you don't know what 75 hard is, I don't know exactly the what it is as far as like all the exact rules, but typically it's you follow a specific diet. I don't think it's their specific diet. I think it's a diet of your choice. The goal is that you will follow that diet. It is where you cut out alcohol, you read for 10 pages a day, and then there's like 2 workouts. You drink a gallon of water. There's 2 workouts that are like both that are 45 minutes each at minimum, and one has to be outdoors. So it's awesome. I mean, it's definitely transformative in those 75 days. So the goal is you'll do that for 75 days, and then it's a mindset reset. It gets you or it's a mind reset. It's you have this transformation. Your body, obviously, like no doubt, it's going to change and be for the better. Assuming you can get through those 75 days, but it's also not prolonged, right? It's 75 days for this reset, and then you kind of do whatever. The people that I know who have done the 75, it's not sustainable anymore, so they kind of fall off after the 75. But most people that I know have done it haven't even made it to the 75th day. So, but the reason, in my opinion, that it's very difficult to get that far is because you're changing all these things at once in your life at one time, and you're trying to make this massive impact in changing just like 5-10 things. So as agents get on board and they want to learn, they want to know everything instead of getting really good at this one and then just stacking their skills, like skill stacking. So, okay, I'm going to work as a buyer's agent for 3 to 6 months. And then now I'll start taking on listings and things like that, where we think that it's going to take too long. I want to do listings. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it's taking you longer because you're doing a little bit each time instead of diving deep into one subject. And that is also a little bit how I feel about when people join Epique. They join Epique and there are like hands down the most benefits I've ever seen ever. But they join Epique and they want to like get in, do it all, get in all. I want this, I want that, I want this, like. But the best benefit for you is to go through and be like, okay, let me characterize what it is that I need to get good at. Like if you're going to go in and you want to learn how to use Lofty in the CRM and just crush it, do that. Like get right after it and understand what it is right away. Like there's no shortage of training at all anywhere. I mean, now we have the 360 Business Plus. We have the new training that we have with Rob Stein. Earth to Orbit, like all those things. But it does become very overwhelming when you try to attend everything and you get overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. What's your next move? What should you do? Where should you go? All that stuff. But really to get in so you don't get that overwhelm and you can sustain. We talk about sustainability in our company often. It doesn't really pertain to this aspect of sustainability, but so try to do that 75 hard. It's not called 75 easy because it's not difficult. It's super hard. So as you're trying to once you get to that spot, there's like, okay, now what? Like, what do I do now? I don't know. There may be, I've never done 75 hard. I never really wanted to try it. I've done, keto. I've done Body for Life, which was a 12-week program. I've done a training for a CrossFit, challenge, all that stuff. And they've all been great. They've all worked really well, but where I failed was that I had this big ramp up and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, this is where I'm at. I'm doing this. And the first one I did, I think I lost like 25 pounds with the CrossFit challenge. But then what happened was I didn't have that continued. I didn't have a plan after that. Right. So I'm sitting there like I hit this and I'm like, yeah, I made it. Now what? And so that's kind of the same when it comes to, the real estate space for agents is I'm going to learn all about this and go here. And then what? Like the sustainability for 75 hard. I didn't think that even if I got to the 75 days that I would be able to continue past that. And without a plan, I would likely just fall off like most of the people that I know have done it. And there's no doubt that it works for that 75 days. If you can commit to that, like that's very impressive. I'm 100% impressed. But at the same time, it's easy to revert back because again, trying to change all these different things at the same time, it's very difficult. So I just wanted to offer this as a piece of unsolicited advice to any newer agents or agents that are trying to make a change or shift in their business. Just add one little thing, and I'll say that today it's ironic that came up today at the office because this morning I was like, all right, so I play flag football on Sundays. Yesterday was the last day. I pulled a hammy. I'm getting old. I'm not stretching enough, not doing all that stuff, but I haven't really been to the gym. I haven't done any other exercise other than playing, or I'll go for like a 30-minute walk in the mornings, listen to a podcast and stuff like that. But I haven't really done much in the way of getting to the gym. So I went today with the intent that I was going to do one set of, or no, one not even one set from Body for Life, that book, it shows like different body parts. So I did a set of chest exercise and that's all I was going to do. I walked over to the gym. I was just going to do that. But just by getting there, I ended up doing 3 different lifts where I was just going to do one. And it goes back to this, there is this guy, I don't even know who it was. I listened to him recently on a podcast, and he was telling me, or actually it might have been on TikTok I saw him, but he was talking about how he went from saying that he was going to go to the gym 3 days a week. So his plan was to go to the gym 3 days a week. Well, he ended up being like, okay, all right, well, Monday you had a late day, like work went late, but you still have a couple more days to get your 3 days in. And I guess what he did is he went and got his login log of when he actually went to the gym, and it turned out that he averaged going like either like 1 1.75 days or like 2.25 days, somewhere in that region, where his goal was 3 to 4 days, and he never even average that. And so what he changed to do was that his only goal was that he was going to go to the gym every day, because that's what set his habits. And it wasn't that he was going to work out every day, but he was going to go there every day. And by the time he got there, then he would do stuff. But all it mattered was he went there so that he could say, and his mind would know that he was going to the gym every day. It does seem a little excessive, but depending, I don't know what the logistics were for him to get to the gym. I don't know if he went maybe he lived in an apartment above the gym. I have no clue. But the idea that just got him there every day. Same thing with, with these videos right here. Like, my goal is just to make the video. That's it. Like, I don't have any goal right now of how many subscribers I'm going to get, how many views I'm going to get, how many agents are going to join me here at Epique, which I've already had, of a couple that have already. And I'm not even a month into it, but the goal right now is not how many people can I get, it has nothing to do with the external. It has zero to do with how many people I can get to do anything. Like 9 times out of 10, you don't even hear a call to action from me. And maybe in the notes, but rarely ever do you hear from me saying, oh, hey, and honestly, it's because I'm forgetting. It's not because I don't want you guys to reach out to me. Of course I want you guys to reach out to me, but I'm forgetting because my goal hasn't been to this point. And at some point it will change. These will get much more refined, much more produced, much more exciting, hopefully. But the reality is that for right now, that's not the goal. The goal is to make sure that I get in front of this camera and do video. Now, if I was going to do the thing like my son was saying about how you got to do 5 shorts for every video I do, now we're talking about 6 different videos I'm doing a day instead of just one time get in front of the camera and do this. So now once I get this and I stack this habit, then I can go to the next. So just want to share that with you guys as it pertains to pretty much anything in life, right? Like, you're trying to change everything at once. And also the challenge that I didn't even touch on is that what happens when we either cut certain things out or add certain things and we see results. If we add more than one, how are we going to know which one was working? So that's another aspect of it that we can get to in another time. But just wanted to share, like, don't overwhelm yourself with change to the point where you won't make that change. My buddy tells me all the time, don't let the start stop you. And that's that kind of very similar in that aspect. Like, normally don't let the start stop you is you're so worried about how is this going to work? How am I going to get this started that you don't even get started. It stops you. And so this is similar in the way that, like, once you're trying to get started, like, you can't even keep that momentum up because you forgot to do one of the things, and now all of a sudden you're like, it just the snowball effect where then you're just like, oh, whatever, I give up. So hopefully none of you are giving up, and hopefully everyone is making some changes and getting putting themselves in the best position to succeed. I'm out here. I'm rooting for you. Whatever I can do to help. Again, I always forget the call to action. But if you ever have any questions on Epique or anything at all that I might be able to help you with, please reach out. All right. Have a great one.